what happens next. Hey guys, so welcome to another video with me, Crazy Skin Dog, and today this one is from a little while ago now. Actually, this is round one, race 2 of the Club 100 Experience Heavyweight class. Now obviously if you've watched race 1, you will know that I qualified amazing second and then spun on hairpin 2, sorry, and messed it all up. So I'm now starting from P16, which is where I started, where I finished race 1, which was actually incorrect, but we'll get into that in a bit as we are in the tram lines ready to go. I'm not going to break the tram lines this time and get myself a penalty, but I am going to dive to the inside still because the inside is king, and we're going to look like we make up a few places there. So that's a decent start so far, and we're expecting chaos in the mid pack here into the hairpin, so we're going to take it a little wide, let everybody kind of mess around on the inside because we know we want the inside for this left hand hairpin, and we've managed not to spin it there. And now we're coming up to the chicane, and we get passed around the outside there off track, but it's all a bit chaos on the first lap, so not too worried about that. And we can see we're continuing that good pace down the hill and just catching people ahead, and we managed to get up the inside there as that's actually Rupert Rixon ahead, who we've raced in SRK, so hopefully we're going to be able to pass him. And yeah, that was a nice little overtake there, following him through, and that is the end of lap 1. A couple of contact warnings on the left there for other drivers. Remember, I'm number 28, so if you want to see if I'm being a naughty boy, keep an eye on that board and look for number 28. Here we go again into hairpin 1. A little bit of clear air now. We've spread out a little bit. Looks like we've made up a fair few places actually from our P16 start. I know Rupert started 10th. I know that because I just checked. But yeah, Rupert started 10th, so hopefully that means that we've had a great start and not that he's had a bad start. And it does seem to be about, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could potentially be in 8th place here unless... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we're in 10th place. A couple of guys were behind the barrier there. So yeah, we have made it up to 10th place after a lap and a half, 2 laps. And yeah, well happy with that. Just continuing that great pace from the morning, from the first heat. And yeah, just going to settle in now. Obviously I know I have the pace, and we will go over that start position. Now there was a little bit of an error by Club 100, and shout out to them. They did apologise after once I raised it, and sent an email out to all competitors, apologised, and also then put out a poll asking which way round we would prefer future rounds to be. And what happened here is previously they would start you off in the second race in order of your finishing position from the first race, as we see somebody go wide and around the combs there, and Rupert's going to go up the inside. Can we capitalise? We can indeed, as we just send it from a mile back, knowing that Rupert's going to give us the space that we need to make that move. So that's a good one there, and yeah, well happy with that. But yes, so the starting position for race 2 is determined by the finish position for race 1. So I finished 16th in race 1, so I started 16th in race 2. Nice and simple. That's the way it has been for quite a while, and is in most of the other championships. In the experience, however, for this year, the rulebook says that your fastest lap from race 1 actually acts like a bit of a qualifier for race 2, and the grid for race 2 will be set by the fastest laps from race 1, and this is where the error was made. The software wasn't changed over on the day to accommodate this, and I maybe should have spoke up a little bit more because I realised this before my race. I probably should have said something to the marshal of the day, but being the new kid, I didn't want to be too kind of, you know, chopsy or upsetting the balance or anything like that, or arguing rules. You know, I'm a novice. I'm you know, here for the experience and learning, and so that's yeah, that's why I didn't bring it up at the time. But if we'd have taken fastest laps from the first heat, I would have started P12, which obviously is better than P16, but it's all good. It was the same for everybody, and they are going with the fastest lap from race 1, setting the grid for race 2 for future rounds, since that is what the rulebook says. So yeah, that'll be changing in future rounds, and I quite like this change. Obviously I messed up my first race, so I'm going to like the opportunity to start further ahead. But also, if you're wiped out in the first heat, or first race rather, and it was not entirely your fault or not your fault at all, and you end up at the back of the grid, and you've lost a load of places, that's ruined your second race as well through no fault of your own. You know, you've still got the chance to have a bit of a go at some overtakes and set some fast laps, and you know, set a decent grid position for race 2 as we start to catch up the pack ahead here. So we might start to get interested actually in the racing on track rather than my rambling. I know some people prefer the other way because they feel like penalties, for example, can affect your grid start for race 2. So if you're a bit naughty in race 1, get a couple of penalties but set a really fast lap, you could in theory still start on pole for race 2 despite having got some penalties and got yourself in trouble. Time will tell as we take a look up the inside on Rupert here. We've managed to catch this pack. We can't quite get the drive out of hairpin 2 there. Time will tell if people decide to do that. Obviously penalties still hurt your result in race 1, which hurts your overall result, so I'm not too sure that will happen too much as we see it open up on the inside. We know we made a lot of good moves into paddock in race 1, so that's definitely where we're going to be looking to make moves, but it's actually cost us, and we're going to get overtaken ourselves into Garda as we didn't see that coming and didn't defend. But we're just going to keep our head down, try and take a good line over the hill as we see number 6 on the left there has a penalty, naughty number 6. And yeah, we're going to hook up the first apex, get a bit of slide mid-corner, miss the second apex, that wasn't great. But we see there's more chaos up ahead, 2 or 3 carts wide, somebody a little bit sideways, and going through hairpin 2. We're going to try and take a tight line, but that's not going to get us too much. And yeah, we're going to see what can open up here as Rupert nearly gets put in the barrier. We're going to try and sweep around the outside of him, but obviously the sweep downhill is hard to do that, and somebody else has capitalised on our decision to do that. But we're going to try and get them back into paddock, which we do exactly that. We give them space on the outside and also defend on the inside for Garda. And yeah, that's a place lost and then gained back, so that was good. But we have lost a bit of time to the guys ahead, as we can see, as once again there are warnings flashing on the board on the left. I think every lap there was warnings flashing on that board. This is the Novice Experience class, remember, so a lot of these karters haven't done either not much karting or, like me, have never raced these karts before. This is my first time racing in a Club 100 car, and there's a lot to learn. It's very different to your regular rental arrive and drive karting, and this is so much fun, so much better. But there is a varying degree of confidence, skill and knowledge, as we can see, and as you saw in the first race. Rupert goes to go up the inside there but can't quite make it move, make it stick. Yeah, as you saw in the first heat when I managed to just scythe back up through the field after my spin, as we're getting very interested in trying to make a move on Rupert up ahead. But he is very good at defending, so he pulls away from us before turn 1. We hook up both apexes that time, but it hasn't gained us too much on the guys ahead. It's a bit of a slide for a couple of carts ahead there, and we're definitely in this fight still. And yeah, we're still up around 9th or 10th place, so that's really good, as we get a great exit out of hairpin 2 there, and we're literally pushing Rupert along. But he takes a tighter line through that second part of the chicane, which seems to get him a cart length on us. But we're going to gain that back up into paddock. We're going to get the move done. We're going to go for it, but we're not going to quite get alongside, and then he's going to cover us off on the inside into Garda. So we're going to try and take a better line and just get more momentum up through Cafe Curve up the hill and down into turn 1. But we see you get a bit of a sideways slide on there through Cafe Curve, carried a bit too much speed, and we've lost the cart length. Can we hook up both apex again? No, we can hook up apex 1, but as with the first race, we miss apex 2 quite badly. Yeah, wasn't really getting those. I think I was taking too much speed into the corner, and yeah, it's always hard to slow down, isn't it, and be under more control. You feel like you're going to lose more speed by going slow, but the exit is what matters, and we are still really good down the sweep there, and we catch right up into paddock, right on his tail again. Unfortunately he's not battling the guy ahead, but we are going to just hoover up the space into Garda, and actually I catch him a bit too good and have to kind of take a bit of a suboptimal line to avoid just punting it mid-corner. But there we go, better through Garda in the last corner there. We're going to see if we can get some decent moves on. We're trying a wider entry into turn 1, and that is much better. Hook up both apexes, keep the speed up, and now we can see Rupert's caught this guy ahead who slowed him up, so we're going to try and get him. No, we're not going to go for the dive. We're going to try and make him compromise his line, get a better drive out of hairpin 2. No, can't quite get it done, but we know the opportunity's there, we probably need to allow Rupert to make a move on the guy ahead so that we can then also make a move on the guy ahead. And here it is, here it comes, and this is what you saw in the clip at the start. And we've just pinched the brake, and we've unfortunately wiped that guy out, and then we're going to lose another place coming out of Garda, and potentially another one up the hill. How's this going to look? We're side by side, but no, he's going to have to back out to get around the corner. Yeah, we'll talk about that incident once this action dies off a bit, but yeah, we hook up Apex 1 and 2 again, just carry more speed through there. We're going to go for it in hairpin 1? No, we're not. We're going to hold behind, we're going to go for it in hairpin 2, we're going to look, no, we're not going to go for it there. Where's the chance going to come, because Rupert's pulling away from us here. I feel like we're probably a little bit faster than this guy ahead. We carry more speed through the chicane, and down the hill we know this is where we're good, and he slows up, and he's going to put his hand up. I'm going to stay behind because I don't want a penalty, but he probably should have just carried on racing there, and we're going to get him into Garda as he's taking a really wide line. So there's two incidents there to talk about, unless some action comes up. So that first one coming down the hill, as we've seen, and weirdly I don't even have a warning on the left hand board there, I'm not sure how that happened. Weirdly well, so that downhill, as we saw in the first heat, first race, I'm much faster than a lot of people down that hill, it seems, on this day, and I had no right to catch that guy. The gap from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill just closed, probably about 8 or 9 kart lengths, and in making the move on Rupert I wasn't even paying attention to the guy ahead of him, and I've just pinched the brake a little bit as I'm coming into paddock and slid into the guy that he's just taken a really wide line and then cut back across. And obviously it's completely my fault as we get overtaken into Garda there because I haven't defended that, but we are going to stay on his tail. We're going to look on the inside. No, we're not going to make a move into Cafe. That's not one that's very often, and we see there my number with a penalty next to it because I was a very naughty boy and wiped that guy out, and we're going to lose another place round the first 2 corners. And yeah, I think we've just been a little bit kind of shaken by that, trying to keep my cool, but yeah, probably distracted by the penalty on the board. Yeah, so that incident was entirely my fault. I'm not trying to say that I wasn't at fault, but the guy was just so much slower than me. As we're going to go for it into paddock again? No, we're a little bit cautious now after that penalty. Don't want to get another one and get excluded. So if you get 2 of the same penalty type, you get excluded from the race completely. Yeah, I was just so much faster than down the hill, and he's taken such a wide line on the entry. As we see, I get a warning as well, I assume, for the bump downhill. So yeah, I've really got to rein it in and be a bit cooler, a bit more controlled for the rest of this race now, because I've got a penalty and a warning. So yeah, let's not get ourselves excluded. That would be a terrible way to end the day. Yeah, so I was a little bit frustrated, but because I was clearly faster than the guy and I had no right to catch up that much to him downhill. The incident was entirely my fault, but his line was so weird, going so wide on the entry into paddock and then cutting back across the line. I was already committed to an overtake on Rupert. As I said, I didn't even see the guy there really. I was aware he's ahead of Rupert, but I wasn't paying attention to him because I wasn't expecting to catch him. And I just pinched the brake, slid into him, and unfortunately wiped him out. So sorry to that guy. I'm not sure who it was. Didn't get a chance to talk to him after because I completely didn't know who it was. So on the off chance that you're watching, very, very sorry for that, buddy. Not my intention at all to be wiping people out, and I did get a wipeout penalty, which is 6 places, I believe. So that's going to ruin my result, which is unfortunate, but deserved. And then the second one, the contact warning downhill again. I'm flat out down that hill, and he eased up in what is a flat out section for me, so I'm not sure. No, and then as we see, I get distracted by the guys ahead, get on the power a little bit too early and just spin out, and that is another spin today. The power of these karts really is insane. It's very easy to just overcook it, and there, Garda is one of those where you're just cresting the hill and turning at the same time. I've just put too much power down as I crest the hill, and the back end has just taken that opportunity to go around, and we've lost another few places and further ruined our result. But yeah, that nudge down the hill, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do in that situation. I'm flat out comfortably down the hill, I know it's a race where there's mixed experience and mixed skill levels and mixed confidence levels, but I'm not expecting somebody to slow up at that point, and I'm certainly not going to slow up on the off chance that he slows up. So if you have any advice for either of those incidents, or want to shout at me for how rubbish a driver I am, or, you know, tell me that I'm entirely not in the wrong, whatever you want to say about those incidents, please let me know in the comments below, because I'm very interested to know what I can do different in the second one especially. I know what I can do different in the first one. I can not lock a brake, be more under control, and not wipe the guy out. That second one though is a hard one to me. So if you got any advice or experience on what to do in that situation, I'd love to hear it. Just to help me improve, basically, because as I say, this is my first race and we see yellow flags there, so hands up, and have to slow down through the sweep. And we are now clear of the incident, so we're racing again. In Club 100, as soon as you're clear of the incident, you can start racing again. So we saw the guy spun on the right. Couldn't take advantage of that into paddock though, but we are going to gain through Garda, get a little bit of a wiggle on though. And yeah, I will work on the camera as well. I'm not too sad with this camera angle, but it would be nice to be able to see my feet, see my pedal inputs, mostly so I can see where I'm going wrong as we hook up both apexes quite nicely there. Again, gain a little bit more in under braking and through hairpin 1. We're going to go for it in hairpin 2. I think we should. We're gonna leave it late, but we are going to go for it. We're going to get side by side for the chicane. No, we're not going to get side by side because we get worse drive out. I think there was more on there. I think I could have committed harder earlier into hairpin 2, but obviously I'm cautious, having spun there earlier and spun again in this race. But is paddock on? Paddock was probably on there as well, but not worth the risk. Again, I'm having to be cautious, but he's going to open us up on Garda, and we get the guy that was around the outside, but not the guy we were trying to make a move on. And I think it's clear from the footage here. I don't think I felt it so much on the day, but I think it's clear from the footage here. I'm very cautious after having wiped somebody out, got a penalty, and then had a contact warning for the nudge. I'm very cautious of contact right now. I don't want to become one of those guys that's getting known for making lots of contact. That's not my style, but it's definitely affecting what moves I go for now. I feel like I could have made up a couple of places already if I was as confident as I was at the start of this race and the second half of race 1. And as we see, again massively, I got to send it this time into paddock. No, he's going to defend, try and send it himself actually, and I couldn't take advantage and get the guy in front, but we're going to get him into guard, aren't we? Yeah, we definitely have to take that move. And there we go, that's that move done. And that was a funny one where I'm trying to overtake a guy who's trying to overtake the guy in front, and yeah, fortunately no contact, got one overtaken, but we've lost a couple of kart lengths, probably 3 or 4 kart lengths actually, to go in front. As he misses the apex by about 27 days, we're going to catch up a little bit from that. And again, he misses the apex massively into hairpin 1, and we catch right up. Now he's going to try and defend the inside, so we put our nose there to compromise his line and then try and get a good drive out of hairpin 2. But once again, I'm just not getting great drive out of hairpin 2. But we know this is going to set us up for paddock. I'm going to be fastening him down here, so we see I'm going to stick to the inside, and we're going to send it into paddock. We're going to keep it under control, and we're going to get that move done. And that is one that we did many times in race 1, and it's good to get it done again. But we see he gets us back into Garda, which is the trouble with overtaking into paddock. And I didn't defend it either. I really needed to defend paddock Garda more throughout the day. But we see just how much better drive I get up the hill and push him along. We're going to send it up the inside of turn 1 and miss the apex of turn 2. But as long as we haven't given him the inside, that's okay. We're going to miss the apex of the hairpin, because why not, you know? We're not here to be perfect, are we? And then we're going to miss both apexes on hairpin 2, because yeah, it's just going to be a scruffy lap. But we have got the move done. But look at that gap ahead now. There's a massive gap ahead to the guys in front. So are we going to be able to make up some more space before the end of the race? The honest answer is, it's been so many weeks I can't remember. So I'm gonna learn with you if we're gonna make up that distance. But I don't think there's very long left in this race now. We've been going for quite a while. I've been waffling for quite a while, and fair play to you if you're still listening and watching at this point. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I am doing longer videos, full videos for these Club 100 races. I know it's the less popular format because it does make the video quite long. It's a pretty hefty commitment to watch, so thank you very much to those of you that do watch, because it means a lot to me, and it really helps me build the channel. Really helps give me motivation to keep building the channel as well. which has been a little bit of a problem recently. I haven't done enough karting to keep me really motivated on it. As we see now, I'm in clear air. Those lines I'm taking down through the sweep down the hill is much different and much faster as well. I'm just basically abusing those curbs, pushing those track limits right to the limits, because you're allowed to keep 2 wheels on the track. 2 off is fine, as long as 2 wheels are at least on the white line, then you are good. So we're taking advantage of that. We saw the last lap board on the left hand side there, so I managed to talk on for a full 20-minute race and hopefully not bored you too much and you're still invested. I don't think I'm catching these guys up, do you? So it looks like this is going to be my finish position unless there's any chaos ahead. And there could be. It is the Novice Experience, as I mentioned a couple of times, so there's always the potential for somebody or me to spin just randomly on their own, as we did earlier. But no, this is going to be it. Up through Cafe Curve for one last time, take the checkered flag there, and that is the end of race 2, the end of my first experience of Club 100 racing. And my god, what an experience. I had an absolute blast all day. I'm still buzzing from this whole event. It was so good. Shout out to all the marshals, shout out to Nicky Richardson, who does the track guides. Definitely check out his track guides, helped me massively in the run up to this, and he's a fantastic guy. I spoke to him on the day as well. Just walked up, told him I bought one of his track guides, asked for a few tips, and he gave them willingly. Was fantastic to talk to. I really felt comfortable and at home all day. Great experience. I'm off to Lid this weekend for round 2, and I cannot wait. That is going to be my first experience of Lid as well, and it looks like it's going to be fantastic in these karts. So that's going to bring the racing to the end. Let's take a look at the results. Okay guys, so that is the end of my first Club 100 event, and I've had an absolute blast. What a great experience. If you're on the fence, or if you've got the money to do it, just do it. So much fun. These karts are insane. Buckmore is a great track. Half of that lap and just holding my breath, hoping the cart doesn't slide out from underneath me. That second race, I started 16th. I'll have a look at the regs. So sure, the regs said that the second race is based off your lap times of race 1, but they said it was off starting position. So maybe I made that up in my head. But yeah, what an experience. That was fantastic fun. I don't know my final finishing position. I got up to about 10th and then had that little spin, dropped to 14th, and yeah, I got I assume a takeout penalty. I saw I got a penalty. I haven't checked what it was for yet. Well, I know which incident it was for. You will have seen the cold-blooded murder at Paddock, but I mean, it's hard because I was carrying so much more speed through Siam sweeping down the hill towards Paddock than a lot of people, and I was really struggling to kind of work out how to get around that, because I don't want to be getting off the throttle halfway down the hill, because my line is across the curb on the inside, and I don't want to be slowing down and trying to go too far around. I guess I've got to be more patient, slow down and get a switch back on at Paddock or something. But when I had that much overspeed, you saw me do it loads of times at Paddock over the course of today, just send it up the inside, get the move done, and I was going for that, and unfortunately I caught the guy in front of the guy in front as well, from absolutely miles back, and to me it felt like I was already there and he's turned in, but he probably didn't expect somebody to appear out of nowhere. I haven't watched it back yet. I will do. It was almost certainly a penalty because I made contact with him and he went off, but it feels like an unfortunate one of just going in too hot, but not too hot, going in hotter than the other guy. Just more committed, I think. But all in all, great experience. Put it on P2 in quali. That was delightful. 2 spins and a penalty. Not the cleanest day, but definitely lots of fun. Learned a lot. And Lid now in a couple of months. I can't wait to get on track for that. So we'll see you for that one in the future. Okay then guys, here we go, the results, and as you can see, well, I mean, you might not be able to see because there's a lot of names there, but P20 was my finishing position, and you see I have a little penalty marker next to my time there. that was a 6th place takeout penalty. So I finished P14 on track and got relegated to P20. I was happy with my pace. I mean, if you look at my ultimate lap time, if I hooked all 3 of my sectors up together, I was up around with the top 5, and my actual fastest lap of what I actually did was around 8th or 9th. So I definitely had the pace to be up there with Rupert, who was obviously battling for most of that race. That was great to have that battle with him. And yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic experience. Even though it was a little while ago now, I'm still buzzing from it. And I can't wait for round 2 at Lyd. That's going to be an amazing experience at a track I've never been to before. So yeah, it's fantastic of you to watch. If you've watched to this point, thank you very much. I appreciate it no end. And yeah, look out for more of this Club 100 footage coming, and these Club 100 events coming up throughout the year. I can't wait to see what the rest of the season brings. Obviously, after qualifying P2 in round 1, I got to expect some decent results, and I just got to clean up my racing and avoid the mistakes. A couple of rookie mistakes in there, which is to be expected. I am, after all, very new to these karts, but going to focus in, hopefully get a good result in round 2, and yeah, see what the rest of the season brings for us in these Club 100 karts. And if you're on the fence about jumping in, do it. Just do it. Just book a session, get involved. It's so much fun. They run such a great event. JV's fantastic. Absolute gent. Really welcomed all of us novices amazingly well. Felt right at home. And I can't wait to get out there again in these karts. And hopefully you won't have to wait too long to see the footage of that. And thank you very much again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.